Hello, hello, and we are live, or at least we should be. So let's hope that everything is working this time and that my audio is good. Please let me know in the chats if you can hear me today, because we had some problems from previous issues, or in previous we had previous issues in previous live streams. So let me know if we're going all right. Is quiet? Is quiet? Is it screwing up again? Let's find out. Tad quiet. Oh, we can hear me. It's just too quiet. That's an easy fix. We can do that one. All right, let's crank it up a notch. How's that one? How is that one? Can we hear it? Just a bit low. Let me know if this is better, and then we will get going. Volume. Clearer, thanks. What's everybody else think? Let me know. I need some thumbs up. Better, more, please. Still a little bit more. I don't want to peek this out. All right, that's let's see. Okay, how about this? Better, better. Non-fam is good. Nate says good. Sounds like there's a fan in the background. More snare drum. Good. People are hearing a background audio, though. Wonder what that could be. Let me see if I've got something else on in the background. Desktop audio, let's turn that off. High-pitched squeal. There's a whine, will be hard to track down. Give me 1 second, let me see if I can fix it. Okay, now it's going to be too soft, and I'm going to crank it up. How's this? Can you hear me now? Beep, beep, beep. What about now? Is it better? Worse? About the same? No difference? Worse? Much worse? Oh my goodness. Alright, we can fix this. Worse. Okay. Please switch setups and everything gets worse. Not better. Okay. That's probably... I broke it. Thumbs down. See, here I am. I spent a lot of time doing this ahead of time and making sure that it was good to go. And then you guys tell me that it's not ready for prime time yet. That's good to know. Good stuff. All right. My phone? I do have my phone. That could be it. Hold on. Good point. Get the phone out of the way. Does that fix it? I was told the phone. Let's see. Does that fix the problem? Let's see. Nope. Still nothing. Don't know what that could be. I don't have a whole lot of wireless going on in the garage just for this reason. No? Alright. Still a power adapter sound. Oh! Let's see if this fixes it. Da, da, da. What about that sound? Does that fix it? I don't want to make it watchable. I want it to be good. Yes? Yay? Yep. Yes. Worked. Awesome. That's what I like to hear. If not, I was going to go wired for you guys just because I wanted it to be good. Everyone says yes. Is it too loud? Am I peaking? Am I peaking on the sound, or is it good? All right. And that'll be it. What was it? Oh, so I'm using a wireless transmitter now. That's what I've changed on the stream. Oh, that's too loud. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I'm switched to a wireless microphone because it gives me a whole lot more freedom. And because of that, I was leaving it plugged into the USB, and apparently leaving it plugged into USB is a bad idea. So, I am not showing any dropped frames on my end. So we're going to leave it. We're going to leave it for now. If it gets really bad, I'm sure you guys will tell me. But other than that, I'm going to let it go, and we're going to get going with this stream. Perfect video and audio from Apache. Thank you very much. I've got my beverage. I hope you have yours, but maybe I have it fixed now and we're all good. Okay, good to go. So I see Lone Earth is here and Dan is here. I never took a drink. And Dan's going to keep you guys all honest, as well as Lone Tech. They are my moderators in the chat today. Thank you guys for being here as always. And people got some water. That's fine. I didn't say what was in mine. It could be water. It could be. It could be energy drink. You don't know what's in there. Anyway, so otherwise it's huge. Let's see. Brandy time. Well, Owling, what time is it where you are? Spicy water. Spicy water. Just dropped by to say have a good stream. Enjoy the box. Thank you, Mad Monkey. Thank you very much for dropping by. I appreciate it. Yep, this is my Georgia Renaissance Festival mug. I bring it at almost every one of these. So yes, Owling says it's 8 p.m. where he is, so it's the perfect time for a spicy beverage. Anyway, so I am looking forward to this stream. I'm glad I got audio worked out finally this time, because last time it was a nightmare, and that was not too bad to actually to get things working, and I appreciate all of your help and your patience while I got that set up. So this stream, I will say, I've upgraded a little bit. So as I said last stream, I did try to get my wireless mic working. It is now working, and now I've learned not to plug it in. Otherwise, you end up with that nasty ground loop sound, what I'm glad is now gone. I also have another upgrade for you. We have the overhead cam. Check that out. So now we've got a nice overhead view, as well as the usual close-up view, which is now at a slightly different angle now that I have overhead. And we have the usual wide shot. And so that's awesome. So let's see, we got fantastic Mr. Fox 63 joining us. Good morning to you. I will say, sir, since you are a Mr. Fox. Thank you very much. Barcode, yeah, you want a little bit more of that close-up barcode action there. And yeah, so nice additions. You know, I'm always trying to upgrade the stream because I enjoy these streams with you, and I enjoy the unboxings. So hopefully it makes it just an overall better experience for everyone. I know. Thanks, Jeff. Jeff says the overhead camera is spoiling you, and I agree, you know, but that's what I'm here to do. You guys always contribute during these streams, and I like to use as much of that contribution to improve the quality of the streams, to make this a better experience for you every time, and so that's what I'm doing. I've got 3 cameras going, better lights this time, everything's on the up and up here. Yes, and audio is working on all the cameras. Thank you, Rushmere, for noticing. So anyway, so the first thing I'm going to start off with, we are going to, as usual, start off with the specs of this printer. We're going to look at the price of it. And I'm going to start out here with telling you that this is a printer that Creality sent over. They provided it. How long did the package take to get to me? I don't remember. I've actually had this one, slight peaking. Okay, I'll turn it down just a little bit. Don't want it to get too soft for people, since that's what they were complaining about. But I don't know how exactly long this took to get to me. I've had this one for a few months now, sitting on it just for this live stream. But Creality shipping direct has never taken very long. I've ordered from them myself, and I don't think it usually takes more than about a week direct from Creality. That's obviously a lot faster than I get from other Asian shippers, but I've always had really good from them. Hasn't taken a month or anything like that, at least coming to me in the United States. I don't remember what they used. This one, I think, was a DHL, if I remember the stickers correctly, were DHL on here. Kinematics, we'll talk about kinematics in a minute, but let's go ahead. I'm going to switch over to the screen share here, and we're going to take a look at the website directly from, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, Creality. Again, Creality sent this over as a review unit. No other money exchanged hands for this review, except them just providing it for review. So as you can see here, it's currently on sale for $5.99 in the US. It is in stock. So keep in mind, they have local warehouses now all over the world. As you can see, when I do this drop down here, this printer is only currently available in the US and the EU and China, but it is in stock at all 3 of those locations most likely. Its current price is $599, that's the sell price, and its normal retail price is $639. Hey, check this out. If you're in the US and you want one of these, you probably should jump on it. There's only 8 available. But keep in mind that this is local This is local delivery in the US as well as the EU, and China obviously wouldn't be local, but they are low on these pretty much everywhere. US has 8, EU has 9, and China has 4. In the description of this video, and I'm going to post it here in the chat for this direct one. This is an affiliate link that I'm going to be posting here in the chat. This is the direct link to the printer. If you will please click through this link, you'll be helping out the channel. And I have pinned that message in case you are looking for it. Okay. All right, so now it's pinned up, ready for you right there. Sorry, I'm going to close out some of my windows here. I got some extra tabs open. There we go. Okay. Let's keep going. So as it says, these are DIY full kits. This is how they come. Minimal assembly from what I hear. And there we go. Okay. So what do we got? Full kits. And as you can see, here's some of the design information on here. It has transparent walls on all the printer. It does not have a lid on this printer. They're still not fully enclosed. I don't know if this has to do with patents or other issues that may be a problem, but here we are. It's enclosed on almost every side. And from what I've seen on other channels that have built this printer, I don't think it would be much work to enclose the roof too bad. As you can see right here, it is a direct drive extruder, and it is running on rails like a lot of the older like ANET A8s and things like that. It is using rails for motion rather than running on the extrusions. It has nozzle cooling, yada yada yada, and it does use dual Z screws for the moving bed. Now keep in mind, unlike if you're familiar with, your Ender 3s, things similar to that, your Prussias, those are i3 designs, as a lot of people call them. There are different names for them. But this is a moving bed. The extruder itself is going to move all around. The bed is only going to move in the up and down direction as needed. As you can see, we've got unboxings and setups from Sexy Cyborg, of course, from Creality, and Brian over at BV3D has also done a first look at this printer. And actually, I watched Brian's last night. Brian's video was excellent. He did a good job of walking through what he thought about the printer, and as usual, I will recommend you going to check out Brian's channel. You can find that link right here. Again, follow the link in the that's pinned in the description. And what else we got? Enclosed machine mostly. This is the sort of enclosure I expect on maybe if this was a classroom printer, that's what this kind of enclosure does. It's the same sort of enclosure that the Ender 6 itself has. Again, not used if you really want to hold in heat for ABS or anything like that. It's mainly for safety and potentially aesthetics if that is what you're looking for. Let's see. What do we got? What do we got? New technology, elegant design. Again, those dual Z's. Again, I just like to go through this. What do we got? Silent main board, so they're claiming everything's silent. We'll see how that goes. Dual Z's again. I think we've about covered it. Let's go ahead and talk about the parameters here. So the printer is going to be available in English and Chinese. Here's the weight information. You can do layers from 0.1 to 0.4. That sounds about right. Printing accuracy about 0.1 millimeters. Again, probably about right. The print size on this one, 280 by 260 by 310. Extremely respectable print size on this one. I think that's even slightly larger than the Ender 6. But keep in mind, the Ender 6 is a Core XY. This is a traditional Cartesian printer, meaning that the X and Y are controlled with independent steppers. Nozzle temperature under 250, meaning it has a PTFE lining. Print bed supposedly will go up to 100 degrees. Machine size is about 500 by 500, so about a half a meter in each direction. And it says it'll do PLA, ABS, TPU. Those sound, perfectly accurate. It'll also do most PETGs at those temperatures without any problems. Let's see, package size. You can see it right here, 590 by 590 by 410. And its display is a 4.3-inch touchscreen. I think that about does it. I'm at the end of the page. So, back to the wide shot, and here we go with the unboxing. If it's not Core XY, why get this instead of an Ender 6? I think that's a very good question, Dan. And let's see, what reasons could I have? Slightly bigger bed, but that wouldn't be a big enough reason for me. It does come with a direct drive extruder, if that was a big enough reason for you. But obviously the Ender 6 could be retrofitted with Core XY. I guess it depends on how much you plan on modding your printer after you get it. Obviously, I've been playing with my Ender 6 actually way more than I've played with any other printer that I've gotten for review lately. I absolutely, spoilers on the full review that I'm working on, I absolutely love my Ender 6. It's a terrific printer. Obviously, no printer's perfect, at least that I've tested. So it has a few flaws that I'll get to in the full review. But I have not tried this printer yet, so we're going to give it its due here as to why you'd pick this one over the Ender 6. And I won't know in this stream why I would buy this over the Ender 6 because there's not enough, I won't have enough data before this is done. But I'll put it over here by the Ender 6 and we'll give them a side-by-side. We got questions. Hey, 3D printing and painting, good to see you. Thanks for dropping by. It's not big enough. Hey, Matthew, I can't disagree with you, but we have different ones. But anyway, let's go and take a look. I'm going to take one more sip before I get started because I've been talking a ton. And where do you want this from? Let's, I guess I'm going to just leave it here for a moment and then I'll go to the upper camera. Pull out the knife here. Let's get everything cut open. What do we got in the chat going on? Hey, Gregors Wozniak. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping by. Throw that knife there. If I need it, I know where it is. Let's go ahead and do an overhead shot now. Does it have a Maxwell or another cheap knockoff? You know me, I will dig into the innards of this printer before we ever get started assembling. So let's go ahead, like I said, we're going to do an overhead shot here so you can see what I see. Hopefully this camera here, I've got the GoPro Hero 9 up here with the attachment that gives me HDMI out and everything. We'll see how that looks. I'm looking forward to trying it. And it should have autofocus, which is also what I'm looking forward to since it's up here above my head. Interesting first look here with, I'm guessing these are the hinges for the doors. I'm going to throw these across the room. That's what you're missing out on. Oh, there. Look, now you don't have to miss out on that. That's probably distracting. Anyway, let's see. So we got doors. As you can see, they are mostly assembled with the hinges and handles. And they've only peeled back the protective coating as far back as they needed to here. So these are going on the floor for now, back here behind me. All right, this is going to get on my nerves. And I'm going to move this. There we go. I think we're still good. Yeah, we're still good. Okay. More plastic. So these are going to be side panels. They've got two of these together, as you can see right here, cut out for one of the components. Okay. More foam. We have one of our, I guess this is the last sidewall. Again, a cutout for one of our components. This is probably the spool holder. And up here they have our filament runout sensor. And it's looking pretty good. I like the packaging in this one so far. I think that they have done an excellent job of keeping everything separate and safe. We got 69 people currently viewing. Great number, but only 21 likes. So if you're enjoying the stream, please hit like. Please share on your social medias as we're going through this. And we have one of our uprights. We have one of our corners. Another corner. Another corner. And another corner. And I called it an upright a minute ago. Maybe it's an upright. I know our corners are uprights. We got some extra support here. That's just like the first one I pulled out. Okay. There we go. What do we got in here? So, trying to see what comes out. Yeah, this comes out at this point. No one can get to the fridge now. Oh well. It's looking really nice. Okay, we got our box of stuff. I'm going to just pull that out, and then in a minute we will open it by itself. And our invitation to be the next customer of Creality Cloud, if you're into such things. And we got our manual as usual. Decent sized spool. It looks like a 200 gram spool of filament. Their usual white. I wish they'd stop sending something other than white with these printers. But anyway, Creality cheap spool of filament. I'll throw it back here behind me too. Spool holder. And so this is the top of the printer. Again, so far so good. Looks pretty well packed. And that was good for it, as usual. That's fine. I didn't break anything. So the only thing I'm concerned about, and let me get down here where you can see it, these are a little bent. There's one on each side. It's a little connector board. You know what? Let me get to the far out. Let me see if you can see it any better there. Only if I turn it around. Okay, so as you can see, there's this little connector board. There's one on each side, and it's a little bent. So I will need to bend that back up just a little bit carefully. I'm not too concerned about it yet. And honestly, as long as nothing's broken, we're probably fine. But go ahead back to the upper shot here. And you can see here's our print head. Everything feels pretty good. I got switches that seem to be functioning properly still. All right, we'll get back into this in a minute. Let me pull that out. Get it set up here behind me. All right, is that good? We are good there. And this is our, I guess we'll call it a Z gantry. They have this borosilicate glass. They have a special name for it. I'll have to look up to know. But anyway, it's their special glass surface. As you can see, the whole bottom, or most of the bottom, has insulation on it, which is fantastic. Big wheels for leveling. They have orange/yellow springs. They've got the upgraded springs on it. They have what appears to be an authentic connector on it, so that's nice. So far, so good on that piece. All right, I'm going to drop something here. All right, and we are down to the big base here, which is quite big. Wow. Yeah, this is really a big base for this printer. It feels even bigger than the top does. Ugh. So yeah, that's a lot of real estate there. I'm gonna have to move the box to even have a place to put this. But as you can see, there's the display, and I do like the cabling. They've got some nice cabling on it. Nice Z motors. Ugh. That is very large though. Nice footprint. Anything else in here? Nope. That is all. Careful, careful. And there we go. Go back to the wide shot. You can see what I've got here. What's been going on in the chat? Did I miss anything? Thomas is here now. How you doing, Thomas? What do we got? This is why I don't make my Ender 5 a direct drive, because it made to be a Bowden type. Yep. So, you know, Stoned Ape there says that, you know, they prefer machines that are meant to be direct drives. So that's an interesting thought. You know, like I said, not everyone wants to mod all of their printer up and make it into something different than it was shipped as. And yeah, I know I'm not here, but I'm straightening up off camera so that if I need to get around, I can. Anyway, so now I'm back. Greetings from Ohio. Good to see you, Eric. Thanks for dropping by. The Z is weird. Yeah, so let's take a look. I'm going to get my base here. There's the base of this printer. Like I said, it's a pretty large base. I don't have a tape measure, but they did say it was about 500 by 500, I believe is what they said. It's about half a meter, and that looks pretty accurate. It's a large housing. Now, as you know, I always try to go through here and show you all the electronics. I need to see how to get into this one, though. This is obviously not our standard base, and I need to make sure what's safe to put weight on in case I need to turn it over. Thank you, Lycion. I'll try to pronounce that as good as possible. And I don't know what that sound was. Okay. Well, I can tell you looking at this, let me turn it this way and go to the close-up camera. As you can see right here, they don't make this obvious how to get into it and just get to the main board easily, whether we remove a ton of things from the top or whether we remove some things from the bottom. I'm not 100% sure. It's got 1,000 screws. But I'm going to get into it. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. So I think the components on the top part should be thick enough to hold this as I turn it over. And we're going to get into it from the bottom, I believe. And I think what I want to do is just get something that's about the right size to put underneath that foot. I think something like a spool, probably about the right size. Yep, that looks about right to me. And then I'm going to move my camera around here a little bit to give you the best view possible as I do this. There we go. And we got a little depth of field here. But we're going to give it a shot. How's that look? Everybody good? 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 We like it? Is that a good focus? I think we're good. I'm going to leave it there. If it's too out of focus, we'll know a little bit more. There we go. Looks good so far. All right. So I'm going to get my good tools for this because I honestly don't want to deal with their tools for dealing with so many screws. Let's go ahead and take a look. I'm obviously going to have to remove the feet on here to get into it, and then some of these. I mean, the feet itself could pull this whole thing off for all I can tell, but there we go. So yeah, actually that's already coming off pretty good. Good afternoon, Black Wolf. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping by. Now, if you're a regular commenter or a new commenter on my YouTube page, I've been trying to catch up there because I've been a little bit behind. So if you've left a comment, check. I may have already recently replied to it. If I haven't recently replied to it, I'm going to do my best to get to it. So as you can see, the corners, let's go and pull those off. The feet come off. Yep, there they go. And let's go. How we doing? How many people are here? How many people we got hanging out in the live stream today? 73, so we're getting a little bit higher, which is what usually happens in these streams. People show up for the later ones. Am I going to need an actual angled? Yep, I'm going to need an angled wrench for this. They have put that on too hard. So I bet you it came with some. Let's see, what did it come with while we're doing it? All right, what did it come with? So we have an American power cable. We have our spool holder. We have a full-size SD card. Everyone rejoice. We've got shiny pieces of plastic that will make everything look awesome. We have tape. I'm a little surprised they included tape. After all, they have their special surface. And they still included a roll of tape. That's surprising. But, you know, whatever. We've got grease. So I like that. They included a thing of grease, which is particularly nice since we have the rails that we're going to be running on this one might need greasing. And usual toolkit, which is one of the things I came in here for. We've got filament guide support. We have our screws, which I'm going to leave in the box. Plenty of screws. They have the scraper in here. There's a scraper. We've got cable ties and more screws, again, which are all going to go back in here. I came in here for the tools, which of course I have these laying around, but I wanted to see if they included the right size tool for the job since I can't seem to get into here. So let's see. I can't wait to see what's in this case because they've touted this as a pretty, you know, it's a little bit more of an expensive printer. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they have here on the inside. Do we have dual independent Z's? Do we have a single Z? There we go. That was really, they didn't want me to get into this one. Yeah. Nice. They had really cranked that down. All right. Let's see, does that give me enough to get this off, or is everything coming off? Everything's coming off. All right, let's do it. I mean, the tape could be great for PETG. I think that's a good point. They may have locked them in some way, but I don't see any left on the screw. So if they used any sort of thread lock, there's none left on the screw. It may have just been cranked in there. I'm just going to keep taking off the screws until it comes off though. I'm sure that'll work, right? Isn't that how this works? Let's see. Different size screws, which is kind of annoying. Everything's a different size screw. All right. We there yet? Almost. One more. No, it's not a 6-hour stream, Alling. Not unless I leave it to print. Thank you very much, though. You've been here before. Not only are my videos long, but so are my live streams. You know how it works. You're not new here. There we go. And look at there. Ready? Drum roll, please. All right, that's long enough. Ugh! I should have known that. I should have known that. I should have known that. They of course have a fan on here. There's a little, is that the fan? Yeah, there's a fan right here. Yeah, of course there's a fan cable. There's a fan right there. And so I gotta carefully, they've got a ton of glue on here. Holy cow. Let me see if I can peel off my hot glue because I don't want to tear up the board. Ugh. Thanks, non-fam. I'm glad you were waiting for it. At least we are all on the same page. I'm gonna have to get pliers here because I don't want to tear that up while I'm pulling it off. There they are. Let's see if I can get this out of here without tearing anything up. All right, I got it. All right, always too much hot glue. That's a good size fan. As you can see, it's not just a 40, it looks like a 50 millimeter 24 volt fan, which is really nice. A little extra hot glue. Unless I'm keeping everything covered, you have to wait. There we go. And what do we got here? So, wow, that was unexpected. Let's go ahead, let's see if you can catch this from the overhead shot. No, because I'm way, way, way too far out. Anyway, I don't know if you can see this. It's a Creality power supply. Yes, I said that. It is a Creality power supply. It says Creality CHP 350-24. So, not a Meanwell, not a Chang Lang, but they have their own branded power supply. So, I don't believe Creality has started manufacturing power supplies. That sounds rather crazy. My guess is it's a rebrand of somebody. Or, hey, Jan may be right. Jan may be absolutely right. Maybe they bought a little power supply company because they got tired of all the crap. It is a 350 watt, 24 volt power supply. Is it any good? Well, obviously, since it's a brand I don't know, I can't answer that yet. So, yep, it is Creality CHP 350-24. I'm not going to pop that open in this stream. That seems a bit too much for what we're dealing with today because it would take a while. So that's too much. Okay, is it earthed? Is it earthed? Yes, it's earthed. So let me see. Can I get pretty close here? Let me get good and close. There we go. That's the depth of field I was looking for. Anyway, so what we've got here, it is grounded to the chassis straight off of the ground right here. So that is really nice. Go straight to the chassis. And yeah. The plug, where's the plug coming into here? So plug is here off the side. So I'm guessing that's the plug. Okay, so this is the plug wire right here. Okay. Then they take the plug from the wall to the chassis and then take that and actually go to the power supply. So if my understanding of electrical engineering is proper on here, that they have done this exactly the way that they're supposed to. Meaning, the chassis is grounded to the wall, and that same connector goes to the power supply for grounding. So I think that they absolutely did the electrical right on this. So I'm very happy to see that. Do I think it's a Meanwell? I think it is a very high chance that it could be a Meanwell because I think it's also a switching power supply. I don't see any sort of 240, 120, whatever, 115 switch on here, so I think it is a switching power supply, which is really nice to hear. All right, so looking at the main board here, which I can't get like real close on at this point, but there we go. There we go. So main board is a Creality version 4.3.1. These are sharing, and they, believe it or not, they actually did the splitting. They're running in parallel here because they actually have both sets of wires coming into this one connector. They've actually crimped the connectors together right here. So that's how they've done that. If we want to go ahead and take a look at, let me grab the right flathead screwdriver here. If we want to take a look at whether they tin these connectors, my guess is a solid yes. Yes, they have tinned the connector still, so no ferrules on anything. Nope, they haven't put ferrules on anything. They're still tinning the connectors. So if you want to be 100% safe on here, pull this thing apart, add some ferrules. Anyway, that's looking good otherwise. So I guess my only complaint is no ferrules. We've all become fairly accustomed to that. Wires otherwise looks good. Their cable management looks good. If I back this off, do they have a ferrite on the stepper wires? Yes, they do. They've got one here, and they've got one here, and they've got one here, and they have one coming to our display here. So they've put those ferrites everywhere in this chassis. So plugs not used. There's a plus minus plug here, which is where we actually had the other fan coming into. Other than that, every other port on this board is used up. I do think it's interesting. There's a couple of other headers here that aren't being used for anything. One of them is labeled Z minus. The other one The other one is labeled X minus. So it does look like that they might have some minimum end stops here that they're not using. But anyway, let me go in. I want to flip this around a little bit so you can see the display area, because it's actually pretty interesting as well. There we go. There you can see the display, and now you can get a little bit more light in here. So if you'll notice the USB, and I know this isn't ideal here, but there's a USB cable right here coming off of the main board that actually comes out right here for your USB connection. That is really nice here. The SD card is coming right off the board. So this normally right here on the main board, which again I know you can't see ideally here. I'm going to do my best to help you out. Well, none of this is working. Oh well. So normally where the micro SD slot is on the main board, they have a ribbon cable. That's this ribbon cable right here, which you can see. That comes down here to a full-size SD card slot. Yep, which you can see right in this area. And then if I flip this over, you'll see what they've done here on the front. So on this side is a USB, it looks like a micro SD slot probably, right here. And then on the other side, they have our full-size SD slot right in this area. Make sense? So they've actually done a really good job on this board of actually making sure everything off that board is being exposed. So, you know, if you'll remember from my Ender 6, or if you've paid any attention to the Ender 6, one thing they didn't do on the Ender 6 was expose the USB port. It's extremely frustrating as just a default thing that's missing. They didn't do that on this one. They actually remembered to take our USB out. So it looks like they've done a good job here. I don't think I personally, keep in mind, not an electrical engineer. I know as much about this as I need to. But it looks like from an electrical standpoint, from a wire routing perspective, it looks like they did everything correct that I can see. You know, from grounding the case properly sized power supply for the size unit, all of the cable routing, cable management, you'll notice right here where the cables are coming across what is a cutout in our aluminum extrusions. They've actually protected that cable with some nice fabric coating on the cable so it doesn't get cut here. On this side, there's another one crossing over that, and again, they've got this nice cover on the cable to keep it from getting cut up. So everything's exposed, everything's out the way it's supposed to. Looks like a nice Creality main board. I was trying to see which chip that is. That is an ARM 32-bit processor on that main board, so it is 32-bit. The only thing you're not going to see me do for this video is I'm not pulling the heat sinks off of the steppers to see which they all are, because I'm not going to glue those back down right now before we do a test print. So it looks like I am ready to put the lid back on here, and everything else looks really good. Let's see, good time to install. Okay, so I'm going to go back wide shot while I talk to you guys and put this lid back on. So let's do this correctly. I'm going to put the fan back in before I get started this time, because the last thing I want to do is have to hook that back up. And how did we have this? One there, one there, one there. Is this how this went on? I think that was right. So the only thing I'm really concerned about that I would have liked to have seen them do a little bit differently. Now there's only one way this would go on. So if I put it back on the other way, it wouldn't be right. So they do have our fan, that 50mm fan that I showed you. Why am I blooming on my display here? Okay, so apparently I need to set my ISO there. I kind of screwed up. Anyway, caring about the camera. So the 50mm fan's exactly where it should be. It's right over the main board to cool off the main board properly. And the only real complaint I have is the fan for the power supply is underneath here. They should have cut out here. But since the lid is not sitting directly on that fan, I guess they're hoping this grill here pulls in enough air, leaves enough air around that power supply so that it can cool properly. I'm sure otherwise they would have already had overheating problems on here. Give me 2 seconds and do something real quick. All right, that was driving me crazy. Anyway, so I set my ISO on the camera. Now it won't do that anymore. All right, anyway, so I think that will do it. Everything else should be fine on here. Let's go ahead and put it back together. That's not the right one. Again, I don't think you're going to have any overheating problems. There's plenty of room between the lid and the power supply to keep that from happening. Thank you, Thomas, reminding people to click that like button. Let's see. Scott Latine joining us. Thank you so much for joining the live stream today. Good to see you. And that's a good point. I like what Pink Mouse said. If the grill's over here instead of over the fan, then you're not going to be putting things in there, or potentially just having stuff sucked in directly from the bottom and locking up there. So it's going to get all this put back together. Should only take a second. But I am going to get all of my screws started before I clamp things down here. Okay, and the last two. Okay, tightening everything down here. What's the volume of the D1? I know someone posted that earlier. You can follow that link. I don't have it off the top of my head, so follow the pinned link in the description if you want to see the full specs of the printer. It's, you know, it's larger than the Ender 6, not as big as the Ender 5, somewhere in that range. It's, you know, it's weird dimensions. It's like 260, 280, weird dimensions. we go. All right. Everything put back together. I didn't touch anything, so I hopefully didn't break anything. Get rid of my roll of filament. There we go. Thank you, Carrie. 280 by 260 by 310. As I've shown, it is a pretty big printer base. So that's the base. I honestly think you can probably fit an Ender 3 like right here in the middle, and it would be pretty comfortable there. So let's go ahead, pull out the instructions, and get going here. How am I doing on time? So about an hour down, but that was all the stuff you guys came here for, and so I always like doing that part first. Harder to do it once you get everything together. So I'll reference this myself later. Always need a bigger table. Let's see here. How are we doing? How many people are hanging out? 100. 100 even. Well, thank you all for joining me as usual. Let's go. So I know you're not going to see this great. I think I'm going to have to get a different camera up here. Probably one with a zoom that I can control remotely or something, because being able to get closer in would be better. But I'm glad it's here to begin with. So there we go. We got all the details here. Here's the equipment introduction. Here's what you call things in a printer. Here are all the parts for the printer. The specs that I read off that website are right here. All right, so first things first, they want us to install the profiles. Oh, that's my head. I'm glad I'm not balding in that area yet, but I'm glad I can check. So there we take out the components for the bottom, take apart the frame lid, and then install the 4 section bars. Installed on the position in the right place. You got to pay attention to what's where. Otherwise, you're going to put it together wrong. They're just letting us know. Let's see. So we're going to have to pull apart a few grays. Yeah, I'm okay with the few grays though. That's what they say, like if you're a guy, gray is distinguishing. So in this case, I'll take it. Now this is the exciting part of the video where I sit here and fight with, maybe I should fight with a knife. Don't ever bring, let's see. I'm going to cut something. It's probably going to be me. So if that's what you've come here for, you're probably in the right place. JD says he's very distinguished. That's what we're going for here. Very distinguished. Let's see if that worked. Because like I said, the exciting part is it's hard to do an unboxing but somehow pre-unwrap everything. Which would be what you'd really want to do. Okay. Working on enclosing my E5 Plus, Carrie says, which I built by following your previous live stream. Well, thank you. That live stream has gotten a lot. That one and the Ender 6 live stream has gotten a lot of use from people. So I love that the live streams get reused. That's why I leave them up on the channel. Anything like this that can have second life for people is a terrific thing. Apparently I need to sharpen my knife. I haven't even had it that long. I keep hearing dinga-dinga-dingas, but I don't see them popping up in the chat. So hopefully those are just subscriptions or something. So if you're subscribing, if you're new here and you haven't subscribed to the channel, this is a great time because I'm unwrapping things to go and actually subscribe to the channel. And so if I hear a bunch of ringies, I will know that I'm getting new subscribers. Maybe if I get enough subscribers, I should give away a roll of filament. What do you think? Anyone want some free stuff? Let's see, where am I on the subscriber count? I don't know, I'm somewhere. Let's see, I'm going to pull it up here. Where are we on the subscriber count? Let's see, according to this, I'm at, that is completely unuseful because it's just a rounded number. I'm at 16,776. If I get another 24 subscribers out of this, I will give away a roll of filament. So let's get to 16,800. 16,800, you guys can see that on your end. We get to 16,800, I'll give away some filament. I'm not giving away money, sorry. I'll be happy to give away some filament out of my own personal stash. So if you haven't subscribed, now's a good time, and I'm assuming you'll hear that on your end as well. The subscribers coming in. So there's another one. I like the sound of that. Oh, those are showing up. Okay, good, good, good. I see those showing up. $20,000 subscribers for a free printer? Sure. You get me to 20,000 subscribers by the end of this stream, you can have a free printer. Obviously not everyone, but one person. You get me to 20,000 subscribers, free printer on me from the channel, done and done. I don't see that happening. But if you want to go tell people that I said it, I'm a man of my word. Happy to do it. I got one sitting over here. I know which one I'd give you. So, I'm just saying. Ambitious. Hey, I'm not the one who said it. Someone else said it. I'm putting the money where their mouth is. So, yeah, I need to, definitely, the backside of this knife is sharp. The tip of this knife, not so much. Hey, Brian. Brian has joined us. Oh, there's another subscriber. I'm hearing him on my end. Of course, I'm going to hear him a little bit before you will. But more subscribers. Well, apparently that works. Apparently I need a subscriber goal at every stream. Filament seeds. Filament seeds? Yeah, I grow filament in the backyard. Thanks, Boo Dog. I appreciate that. Thank you for the $6. I'm going to just keep. These are the. Wow. They have really overdone this. I never get tired of that sound. You are welcome to keep. Will it ding if I unsubscribe and subscribe again? Possible, but that will not help the subscriber count on the channel. So I don't think that that's really going to do us much except make noise. Yeah, Brian, I was telling them, Brian, that I watched your stream. I think I watched it yesterday, your video. I linked them to your video as we were going through Creality's webpage. So I saw that they were in here. So, need to buy a sharpening stone. I don't really want to sharpen this on my kitchen sharpener. Oh, there's another one. Keep them coming. This is not going to take long at this pace. So if you're just coming in, free filament and, you know, stretch goal free printer on the line here. And as Brian said, there is the lead screw. I'm going to go ahead and do all this now. So no ABL on this puppy. No, not that I know of. There's the other lead screw. Let's see. Need to pull up something here. Not that one. There it is. Okay. Try scissors. Talk about something I don't have in my shop. Scissors. I've got every knife and cutter and pliers that you could possibly imagine. And you're right, scissors would be a really nice thing. So The scissor fund is what that $6 just went to, is the scissor fund. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, I know, Owling. Like I said, stretch goal. I wasn't the one that said it. Okay. Now I'm tired. That's the end of the stream. I've unwrapped everything. Good night, everybody. I'm going to run out of drink here. Oh, there's another subscriber. Link is here to the rescue. All right, now that we've got that done, I'm going to be throwing away plastic forever. So I need 31s and 27s. So that's flat washers, M6 flat washers, and M6 35 screws. So M6 and M6. There we go. I'm going to need more grog. As Brian mentioned, more ale, more grog, whatever I happen to be drinking here. For $2,000 in Super Chats, I can give away a Prusa. For $2,000 in Super Chats, I'll give away an Ender 5. Not a Plus, but a regular Ender 5. So, I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. So, if I'm not allowed to do that, I didn't just say that. If I am allowed to do that, then I did just say that. So, I don't think that that would work. That'd be like a lottery. So, I can't have you guys like putting in money to get something out. That's probably breaking something. I'm not doing that. It's gone. That won't work. I'm not here to make problems for myself or anybody else. Okay, so these are differently. Are they the same? Hey Brian, are they the same? Yeah, no lottery here. No lottery here. That didn't happen. Nope, they're definitely not all the same. I've got these two, which look very similar and are probably for the front door. And then these two, there we go. So, and everything has a washer on it. Are what the same? I was talking about the extrusions, specific locations. Look closely at the drawings. Okay, I will do that. So, first of all, the drawing is backwards to me. So I'm going to turn the drawing facing me. And so this one appears to be a door side. I sure hope so. And we're going to put this here. And I think that's right. Looks good to me. Okay, because I think I don't have any very specific markings on them. So I'm going to put this one here. Let's go ahead and grab, again, this is an M6 by 35 screw. Do I think the Ender line is a much better value than the CR line? Probably. I actually have to wonder where the CR line is going. I thought it was dying, and then they're trying to revive it, it looks like, with the new printer. So I honestly don't know what to say about it. I do think the Ender is more of a value line, but I dare not call the Ender 6 a value printer. So it's hard to say. Where's my engineer square? I didn't get an engineer square. Although I don't think it's going to matter a whole lot. With one screw in these corners, if they don't line up, there's not much I can do about it. If they're not square, be kind of out of luck. So, there we go. Let me just hang this off of here. Let's see. Is this the right size? I don't think that'll fit that. Nope. I'm definitely going to have to use the tools provided to me for that one. Yeah. Thanks, Eric. Eric says my engineer squares where my scissors are, so that means they're probably sitting at Amazon. So I do have my carpenter square, and I'll be happy to pull it out for you. So that one goes there. And then we have the other one, and that will have to go this way. Okay, just keep in mind if I get it wrong, I'll just have to redo it. So. Got 3 Ender 5s. Thanks for your vids. Hope you led me down the right path, sir. Hope? Well, I hope so too. Ender 5 is a great printer. Ender 5 has been my go-to printer for all of my prototyping for years. My regular Ender 5, the one I did in the video that has the linear rail mod on it, I love that printer. And then I got my Ender 6. And the Ender 6 is so much faster. All right. So I just need to do my Ender 6 review. I'm going to have to jump ahead in my review schedule, tick 1 or 2 people off, and just get the Ender 6 review done because I really do like it. So, squared up. Well, it doesn't fit there. Let's see if it's squared this way. Pretty dang squarey. I mean, I don't have the lid on, but not counting the fact that the lid's not on, that's pretty square. And on this side, pretty square also. I'm not going to say it's like spot on yet. Again, the lid is not on, which is going to reshape these a little bit. But that's reasonably square at this stage of the game. Yeah. All right, we're going to roll it around here. Do a Voron 2.4 build. Everyone's doing a Voron build. Why do I need to add to the Voron builds? Just because you need to see me build one too? I have cut myself. I'm bleeding. Anyway. So when doing the sides to the back, it looks like there is a difference in the way that these are here than these are here. You can see them both here. It looks like these are lower on the top of the back, but everything else is high, which means that this one has to go on this side, and interesting. Spatial awareness says that goes over there, and then this one goes here. That's what spatial awareness tells me. I hope that's right. They're saying that on this side there are 3 holes, or 2 holes. 2 holes. Yes, and that one. So I think this is right. I think that looks good. Like I said, I'll find out real quick if I'm wrong. There we go. I'm bleeding. What did I do? I think that's not a knife cut. That is an extrusion cut of some sort. I'm quite familiar with what those look like. Are you asking me what's my worst failed print? I was kind of ticked off about that print that I actually turned into a video, the one where I actually show how I repaired it. Because that print was annoying because I was printing that helmet, which I still want to finish. But anyway, I was printing that helmet, and the Ender 3 Max was missing its filament runout sensor, because that's how they shipped me that beta unit. And yeah, that helmet kept failing or kept running out of filament anyway, and I kept having to repair it. And so I thought I'd just do a video on it while I had the print to do the video. So where is that? That's on that side of the garage somewhere. But that was annoying. That was a pretty rough one because of just, it was a lot of filament. It was a long print. I haven't had one of those really epic fails that I've seen from some people where like the whole hot end gets encased in filament. I've never had one of those. So, you know, knock on wood here. But I haven't had one of those before. I've of course had the plate of spaghetti, but I've never had the encased hot end. I try to watch mine as much as possible. I mean, I have plenty of overnight prints that I'm not watching all night long, but luckily that hasn't happened. All right, everything is locked down here. Moving on to the next one. So these other ones that I was unsure of, are they identical? They appear to be identical. And these go right here next to our screws, and this is what our Z-axis is going to ride on. And what do we do with that? We do M4x14s. M4x14s, and these are the hex head screws. Yep, got 4 of these. And Eric just commented the worst felt print is the one that you need during a time crunch and the one that you don't get to finish on time. And that is absolutely correct. If you ever have one of those that you're counting on, I've had those and have had to work around it or resume or, you know, just didn't get it done on time and you have to tell someone it didn't get done. But I do my best to give myself plenty of failed print time. If you ever run any sort of 3D printing business, make sure that part of your lead time is 2 or 3 failed prints, just in case. And that will keep you from getting in trouble and will keep the expectations of when things are going to be done from ruining your business. Let people know that these things take time, these things fail, and that you will get it done as soon as it's humanly possible or mechanically possible. All right, so these just had to be screwed down on the side. I realize I probably should be doing here. So if you were watching, these have a screw here and a screw here. And now those are down the way that they're supposed to. Just like that. Aaron has given me $5 Canadian to buy some safety scissors for your shop. Now, when you say safety scissors, Aaron, are you talking about the like children's type? Like, should I get kindergarten scissors? Or are there some other safety scissors I should buy? There we go. It does not have a chamber heater. It does have a heated bed. Yes, kindergarten scissors. I've got kids. I can probably go find those if I need to. Let's see. Okay, next up, that looks good. Printing platform. After installation, please check the tightness between the V's. Insert the printing platform. All right, this will be fun. Look, I forgot something. This is where I need those safety scissors. Just waiting for this bed to fall off of here because it's actually not on very well. All right. And the front of the machine is now that way. And so there we go. That actually is really solid. I like that. All right. And they say to go ahead and after installation, please check the tightness of the V-wheels. I think that's a terrific time to do that. So I'm going to hold this up here. Let's go and do an overhead. All right, so right here. So I'm going to see, do the wheels spin freely or do they kind of move the bed when I move? And it does look like these over here are really good. They're not too tight, not too loose. On this side, same thing. Notice I spin them with my fingers and it kind of lifts the bed up, and there was no real problem. So that actually moves really well. I'm not actually going to touch those at all. I like the way those are on here. And now they want me to install the screws. So we're going to grab these. I'm going to see if I can just pull them out. Since they're cylindrical, they should just pull out. All right, so now I'm just going to put this in here. Can I get it? There we go. I really thought this should have been a little easier. There we go. It just didn't want to get started. Now that it's started, it's fine. All right, let's do the other one. Retro Care says they really like the glass bed that Creality ships. I agree with you. I had a weird comment earlier that I answered that they were saying nothing stuck to their Ender 6 bed. And that just confused me because my Ender 6 bed I cleaned with IPA, isopropyl alcohol, when I first got it. And since then, I haven't had any problems at all with it sticking. In fact, most of the time I have to actually take a little bit of a scraper just to pop that off. So, for some reason, just watching this makes me want to print something. I can't understand why, Delta. I mean, what does this have to do with 3D printing? All right, and so us to screw it down in here. One thing they didn't tell me to do was to tighten the couplers, which is kind of surprising because you need to tighten the couplers. So I'm going to do that next. I don't know if they just wanted me to screw them in there and hope the couplers would tighten themselves. I don't know. That's the wrong size. But I'm going to loosen this coupler up because it's actually tight. This coupler in here is actually really tightened down. So I'm going to have to where's the one I was using earlier? There it is. So there we go. So I'm actually going to loosen up this coupler, which is really, really tight. There we go. I'm going to loosen up that coupler. I'm actually looking at this coupler and deciding whether I should probably lift up the bottom coupler too. I don't exactly like where they put the shaft up kind of too high. But they put this coupler on here so tight. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to raise up my coupler. The coupler, the motor shaft shouldn't be more than 50% up the coupler, and it was really just kind of bottomed out there. So I'm going to put the coupler where I think it should go. Let's do this right. Oh, I'm going to hit the camera. Perfect. You can show that one. Let's click show. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to do this right. Like I said, I don't like the way that these couplers are in here. I am going to put this where it goes. Again, the coupler, in my opinion, there's actually a little lip on the bottom of that coupler, and that's where that shaft should go to. So I'm going to put that back where it belongs. While I have this thing off, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Build them right the first time and you won't have to take them apart. But yeah, they put down these couplers too far. And they really crank down the screws in these things. Okay, much better. I don't know if this is where Creality wants them, but this is where I want them. Okay, good to go. Much better. Yeah, bent hex key, absolutely. That's how tight those screws on the bottom of the case were. And these screws here also. Very tight. Okay, let's go back. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's much better. Those sitting in there good this time. And I like to lift that screw just a little bit off of the shaft. It lets those flexible couplers do their job. You don't need to lift it up much, just enough to where if it needs to flex that coupler, it can do so, although these aren't flexible couplers, so I don't know how much it will matter. Okay, here we go. Again, lift it up just a touch, and then I'm going to put it back down. Down, up, tighten. This is the exciting part. I was wrong about the other one. Son of a gun! No frustration here. Just having fun. Don't give you a whole lot of room to work down here though, for sure. But this is how it goes. Just trying to tighten these couplers up, which they don't even mention tightening these couplers. Maybe they're going to do it later in the instructions. I don't know why you'd wait though. It's not going to get any easier to get to everything once you've got everything put together. Alright, I think I've got everything tight enough. If not, I can come back here and retighten it later. Alright. Let me go ahead. I'm going to move this glass bed a little bit because as you can see it's not on here straight anyway. The way you usually do these is they pull off in the front and the back ones are screwed in. I'm just going to move that completely for now. I don't need it. Okay. The reason I went ahead and did a lot of that though is because it's time for the lid, otherwise known as the printer, because this pretty much has everything moving in it. I'm just looking for what's the back and what's the front. That even makes sense. Let me see. Well, the obvious way to tell what the front is the giant Creality logo. So, let's see. So they've got a whole bunch of nice cutouts here that should make everything fit down here solid. There we go. I love it. I love it. So they've got cutouts. So they've got cutouts here on the side for these sidebars. Right here and right here, they've got cutouts. And then it just makes everything really easy to seat in. And then once you've got that in there, you're pretty much home free on that. I got a question from Aaron. Ever had to replace linear bearings on your Ender 5s? Had to the other week. I have on my Ender 5 Pluses, yes. So Ender 5 Plus, I've replaced them once or twice, and I have extras in a drawer just in case. Because I've had to replace them just because they don't run the way they should anymore. They're inexpensive bearings. They wear out if you need to. I have ordered them from Ziltech. Ziltech has them in stock. And you can get Z artifacts on them because of that. That's the easiest way to tell that you're having Z problems. But sometimes if you just move the printer quickly, you'll notice that things are making a little bit of a noise that you're not used to. All right, so corner screws. Corner screws. There we go. Big hex key. One that isn't bent yet. Hopefully I can find the hole. There we go. And I'm going to get all my corners started here because I want to make sure that all the holes are in the right place. No electric screwdriver. I don't know if I have one that'll fit an M6. M6 is pretty big, but yes, of course I have electric screwdrivers. I've used it before. I guess, Alan, you probably knew that. But do I have one that's that big? Let's see. Yeah, maybe. Calling me out. Let's do it. Let's see if this one fits. It doesn't fit at all. You need an H4. And so many of these electric screwdriver sets don't have H4s. Yep, no H4s. I'm out of luck. So electric screwdriver would have been great. It doesn't come with an H4 bit. Back to doing it the old-fashioned way. Yeah, making sure all my screws have been tapped in here correctly. So I knew I would need a 4, and I've been looking for a hex Wera 4. I don't have a hex 4 or a 3.5 in the Weras. In these type of screwdrivers, which I really like. So if you have a link or if you know whether they make any 4s, please let me know. Because I need an H3.5 and an H4. What brand is my driver? These are Weras. Check my socials. I just did this really nice Wera mount over here that I 3D printed out of PETG. Holds all my nice Wera screwdrivers that I've started buying. I love them. They're just, they're built really well. They feel good in the hand. They work well. Yep, they're not big enough. I know they sell hex keys like this, but I have so many hex keys I haven't brought myself to actually buy Wera hex keys. Although they do have these nice sleeves on them that I've seen. What brand is that driver? Oh, the electric one. I'll have to send you a link. I've got a link I can send you from Amazon when we get a minute of downtime. I've posted that link up before, and I like that driver. It's not perfect. I mean, it's small, so it's not good for every job. You have to keep the size of it in mind. I'm going to hide. It's a big enough printer to hide behind. I actually like this. It's kind of fancy. Fancy printers. I'm going to start doing my George Bush impression. It's fancy. It's a fancy printer. Screw backwards till it pops to the thread helps. Yeah, okay. I'm almost done. I'm being honest. Hex bits are better milled than printed. The sharper you can get the corners, the better it transfers to the target. Okay. All right, let's tighten them down. And tighten it down. And tighten it down. And tighten it down. You know, that guy who commented on one of my other live streams that I talk too much during my live streams is really going to hate this one. Which I still think is funny. Is the main board 427 silent? It's supposed to be silent. I guess we'll find out. I know from watching Brian's stream that the X and Y was silent on his, but the Z not so much. Let's see, the wire connections. So there is wire connections here which need bending back a little bit because they're slightly bowed, but that's easy to fix. There are wire connections on this side which were slightly bowed, but I may have already gotten them fixed. Okay, what do we got? We got one 24 pin. So on this side, I don't know if any of these are going to be too useful for this because of how big the printer is. So there's and now I'm wearing a black shirt. So here is a 24 pin connector that they say is first, and that's going to go into the bottom of this connector down here. All right, so that one's good. And then there's a 10 pin that comes around the other side. You see, there it is. See that 10 pin right there? All right, so that 10 pin goes into the bottom of this one over here. Of course, I have motors and everything in the way. But they do have a nice little, they've got nice little grippers over here that hold in this 10 pin. They got little clamps that clamp down on it here. And on this side, it's got a key that holds it in place. Thanks, John. Less talking, more building. Thanks, John. I've got mods for people like you. Thanks, Retro. See, Retro knows what we're here for. The building is the backdrop for the social interaction. What's up next? We have an SM2P, whatever the hell that is. You know what, I'm just going to plug things in. So we've got this is the supply plug coming from the bed. This is the hot end. This is the bed plug and the thermistor off of the bed, and that is going to plug in over here, straight into the bottom. Yep, those go down there, and that's the XT60. All right, and then I have a Y plug that's coming off. And then we're going to plug that into my Y motor. And we have another plug right here, which is going to go into our filament runout sensor, which I currently don't have yet. Okay, we have cable ties, and they're actually telling us where to put cable ties. So if we need it, there are little cable tie holders running up and down these back rails right here. They've got cable tie things that are really nice. So if we need them, we can use them to hold these in place. Might as well. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, so I'm going to plug in. I'm going to clamp these down here. Okay, clamp that one down. And then there's another one in the middle. Okay, and then one more. I do like the guided cable management, as Brian is pointing out in the chat. I've complained before that they don't tell you where to put the cables. Like, how do I run these cables? How do I keep them out of my way? And at least in this case, it looks like Creality has potentially listened and done guided cable management to keep everything nice and tidy. So I'm rather happy to see that. So they've got those 17, 17, 17. And then another one right here to keep these in place and keep everything nice. I'm going to pull out some cable ties for that. Again, this doesn't have to be done right now, but it's again one of those things that if I don't do it right now, I'm a little concerned that it's going to be a lot difficult to get to later, or I'm going to have to disassemble something to get to properly. So let's go ahead and do it. Okay. That was not my favorite cable that I've ever put in there. Yeah, I'm not happy about that, but that's okay. No one will ever see it again. Let me go ahead and, if I didn't drive it home earlier, be careful when you're assembling this case. I have cut myself on at least 2 or 3 fingers. I don't even know how I did it. It's one of those things. So be careful. I bet you Brian didn't cut himself because he wasn't doing it on a live stream. Okay. And snap these off. Again, I know I didn't do it on the knife, otherwise it would be really a mess. And then, I guess that's the only places they tell me to do it. All right, 6 cable ties done. Put these back in here. So I'm going to save us a little bit of time here. We're running almost on the 2-hour mark. So I'm actually not going to put on all of my covers. It's not necessary to get this thing printing. So I think the only thing that I really have to put on is the side with the filament runout sensor and the spool holder, which is going to be on this side over here. That's the only one I'm really going to do. The other ones I will do later in my own time. So let's go ahead and boo. Boo. There we go. All right, it's going to need some cleaning. But other than that, it looks pretty good. I think this is going to go on here like this. Looks good. I know you would like that. I need one cleanful. Tell me about it. All right. Before installing, remove the protective film. Done. I'm going to need some M4x8s and 5x8s. 28s are M4x8s. Let's find out where those are. That. Spool holder. Spool holder. M4x8s. Okay. So let's go ahead and put this on here correctly. We're going to go ahead. It goes here, here. What order they want me to do this in. Looks like I should go ahead and put on the inside spool holder first. Let me do that. This is the inside spool holder. Am I comfortable printing ABS without all metal hot in? It depends on how hot the ABS is. If I can print ABS no more about 250, 255, sure. If not, then I wouldn't print it because I wouldn't want to. Haha, did I mess up? Nope, they're there. Okay. But they shouldn't have told me to put down the cable management yet because now it's kind of in the way. So I've got to put So I have to put this on right here. Cable's already in the way, which wouldn't have been in the way if I wouldn't have done the cable management yet. Yep, need that 3.5. There we go. But I'm going to go ahead and figure it out anyway. If I have to cut that cable tie, I will. I'm trying not to, though. But it really may be in the way now. Yeah, it's in the way. I'm not going to give myself a hard time by not cutting that off. Okay. So, they should have told me to go ahead and put on the spool holder first. Okay. And thanks, Brian. Thanks for dropping by. Good to see you as always. Okay. So now that's where it should be. Let's go ahead, and I think I can put on the side panel now. Side panel goes here. And let's go ahead, and I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 28s. These are the wrong 28s. Yep, there they are. Those are the wrong 28s. There are multiple M4x8s that look different. There are flathead ones, which were the ones I was about to install, but there's also the pan head type, or the rounded heads. And that's the ones I was supposed to use. So I'm going to put these back up. They don't go here. A lot of sticker real estate. I like how you think, RetroCare. Now these aren't much to get in here because they're not that deep. Biggest thing is just getting them started. We're going to get to a test print. Let's see if we can get to one in like 10 minutes. No promises. Let's see if they actually came with a test print on the USB drive. Or the SD card, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Boy, this plastic needs polishing now. Okay, make sure if you're putting this together, if you're following along with me, don't over tweak any of these screws. If you over tighten these things, you'll split this really, really easily. All right, so next up, we're going to go ahead and attach the spool holder. So the spool holder goes through the side, and then the back of the spool holder just attaches on the back side. Pretty simple, I hope. I said that out loud. Pretty simple. Apparently there's a trick there to get it to sit correctly. Interesting. Yeah, there you go. There's a snap on there you have to get just right. Okay, spool holder's in place. Hey, the Herman Circus. Herman Sarkis, thanks for doing this. I can't get a quality print from my D1. No way to set Z offset from the leveling menu. Also, the Z offset does not store in memory. Must be a firmware bug. Thanks again. Okay, well, I'll keep that in mind when I get going, and hopefully I can help you get your setup with how I pull off my first print. All right, so that's good. I'm going to go ahead and plug in my filament runout sensor, even though I don't see them telling me to do that yet. Then I won't forget it. I see no other loose wires in here. Of course, I could put on doors now, but I'm not going to because I'm not going to take up your time with doors. And this is the perfect time, of course, to waste your time putting on these little plastic corners because otherwise it just won't look right. All right. So let's put on corners. How do corners go on? So the corners are kind of keyed. They have, so the corners are kind of, okay. So you can see the corners are kind of keyed. There are these look like this, and these are flat ones. So you have to just put them on the right edges of the corners in order to get them to slide in properly. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to find out which way they will slide in best. That one will slide on this way. There we go. One less thing to cut myself on. I'm going to do this one. Actually, these go on really easily. The printer is getting heavy now, so yeah, someone's telling me the corners are different. Well, I figured as long as I don't run into a situation where I have a corner that doesn't go anywhere, I'm doing all right. There we go. Any reason I can't set it on that side of the printer? I don't think so. Don't set it on my pliers. Good to go. All right, let's put on these. There we go. There we go. And let me save myself one twist of this printer by just ducking down here behind it and putting these on. Okay. And finally, so it does look like all the corners are the same because they all went on without me having to do anything fancy, but they all go on in a slightly different direction. Ugh. It is not a light printer. This thing, let's see. Yeah, I bet that thing weighs as much as my Ender 5 Plus. Just letting you know. If you're wondering about the weight of the printer, moving it around, it probably weighs as much as the Ender 5 Plus does. Just more enclosed. All right. So, are we done? I think we're done. I think we're done enough for sure. The other sides will come in later. Let's go ahead. I'm going to do it their way. Let's see. How am I doing on battery? I'll make sure I don't run out of battery here on my... Oh, still says I have battery. Okay. Let me know if I go dead on my battery here. I'll let you know. What is this filament guide support? Ah, I skipped that. Looks like I need a filament guide support somewhere. Where did I skip that in the instructions? Did they tell me where to put this on? I'm seeing it in the pictures. There it goes. Back on step 5, I was supposed to put on this filament guide. So let's do that now. Okay. So the filament guide goes on this side of the printer in order to help guide the filament from here up this way and towards your print head. And it looks like the rollers go towards the outside and it just screws in right there. So that's what I'm going to do. I hope the angle is right there. I'm not 100% sure. There we go. Someone, general PSA, no scissors or squares were harmed in the making of this video, and that is true. They were not harmed, and although, hey, I pulled out a carpenter square, but it wasn't harmed. Okay. There we go. So that is our filament routing thingamabobber. All right. So, what's the size space for the system? Looks like a 10-inch for work area and 20 inches from the machine. I think I said 500 millimeters, if you want to convert that, somebody for me. But no, I would say that I'll get my tape measure in a minute when we get going, when we get the print going. I'm thinking if you don't have 2 feet square, you don't have enough room here, or 2 feet cubed even. All right, so let me see if I get close up, because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. So let's go with this, and I'm going to get a good view as I hook it up and turn it on. Let's go out wider though, so that you can actually see what's happening here. There we go. There we go. Okay. It's not turned on yet. Don't know anything about smoke. Let's find out. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put that bed back on. Here. Woo. Ready? All right, that was much more satisfying than the side of the glass there, or side of the plastic. All right, so now I'm going to pop this in here, pop that in the back. Now you get so used to square build plates that when you feel one that's not square, like this one, which is longer than it is deep, it feels kind of weird. All right, everything's put together now. That's the pill you deserved. Yeah, I like that one. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to go and plug it in. And let's cut it on. Nothing happened. Oh, there it goes. Whew, I was getting worried there. There we go. Good to go. Dominic asked, they already have an Ender 5 Pro and they love it. If they want a larger printer, should I get this one or a 5 Plus? In my opinion, something like this isn't bigger enough to make the difference. It's not bigger enough to like get a new computer for, or a new printer for. So if you want bigger, Ender 5 Plus will give you bigger. All right, so I want to follow the instructions here. It's got high quality instructions on how to level this bed. And since we already had one person tell me that there's a problem with it, let's go ahead and do this the way that they recommend. So we go to Settings, we go to Move, and this makes no sense whatsoever. They tell me to just press the Z button. Yeah, that's useless. I don't know why they said set the Z axis, move down 10 millimeters, remove the motor. What? Okay. Settings, move, down Z. All right, we're going to go back. We're going to motor control. All right, I'm going to do it. Let's see. What are they telling me to do? Motor control? Motor control? Okay, so they wanted me to turn that off. I don't know why. okay? I'm not removing the motor. It doesn't even make sense. Okay. Maybe they just meant to turn off the motor. Okay, the motor's off. Okay. Moving along. We're going to go to settings again. We're going to move again. We're going to move up. What the hell? Okay. Then we're going to home, which that's actually the first thing that's made sense here. So let's find out. It's going to go to the front. Okay. It is homing properly. I'm not going to be able to get I can't get the controls and the printer. All right, let's do this. Stream Deck. How about that? Yeah, that's cool. Let's do that. Ugh. What happened? Too far. Those Z-steppers are not silent. You can hear it, I think, pretty well. Yeah, those are not silent Z-steppers. So, as with a lot of 3D printer companies, for some reason they don't think that when it moves up and down it's a big enough of an annoyance. So, definitely not silent on the Z. Well, I will say at least everything, all my end stops are working properly. So that's a good thing. Okay, I've homed. Now let's go back. All right, so I'm back to the home screen. And then we're going to go to settings and we're going to do leveling. It's not supposed to do that. Thanks, Nate. He said that's the sound of success. And now it's locked up. So that's nice. Follow the instructions to a T, end up with it locked up. So let's go and turn it back off. Okay. I'm going to see if I can move the head manually. Now I can. All right. We're not scraping the bed or anything, so that's good. All right, I'm going to cut the printer back on. Okay, let's try this again. We go to settings, leveling. So that is pretty quiet on the X and Y. Very quiet. The X and Y steppers, awesome. Z steppers, why spend the money, I suppose. All right, so this is the part where people just love the process. So, I'm going to lose it, guys. Okay, so how do I want to show this? Let me see if I can get a good shot so I can show people how to do this as I move around. Because it seems like there's still confusion here. There we go. That looks pretty good. All right, so most people use a sheet of paper. I am not going to be using a sheet of paper because sheet of papers vary and sheets of papers squish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this thickness gauge, which are cheap, inexpensive, yada yada, and I have found that the 0.1 millimeter thickness gauge is my favorite. So that's the one I'm going to use. Again, 0.1 millimeter gauge. And we're going to move around. We're going to start in spot 2. All right, so I'm going to stick this. Now, one thing that they're doing wrong here, and I'll say this right now, I'm going to actually just do it anyway because this is the way they're telling me to do it, is I'm doing it cold. You shouldn't do the bed leveling cold. You should heat the bed up, you should heat the nozzle up and do it hot. I'm going to do it cold for the first go around. I'm going to take my gauge, I'm going to stick it under here, and I'm going to tighten it up, loosen it up until my gauge just fits. And when it just fits, you don't have to worry about squishy, it just fits under there and you're good. And then we're going to go to 3. And then we're going to scrape the bed. Oof, man. So there's a problem here. They did not give us enough room to level the bed. These were so compressed that you can't move up or down at all. So what I'm going to have to do is go back out. I'm going to say move. I'm going to move the bed down. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these back up here a little bit, giving myself a little bit of room to work, because without a little bit of room, I mean, you do want these springs mostly compressed, but without a little bit of room to work, you can't go anywhere. There's no place to loosen or tighten or anything, and so you're just stuck when you bottom out. I'm looking at the bottom of the screws down here, trying to get them kind of aligned, making sure they're roughly in the same ballpark. And then we're going to go to leveling again, and we're going to start over. Ah, it's doing it again. It does not like those end stops. Uncle Jesse, show up. Hey, man. How you doing? And so there's an end stop that is doing for the X direction. That is getting, so there's my Y end stop right here, and the Y end stop is good. I need to find out where the X end stop is. X end stop. Oh, here's, no. The Z end stop is in this area here. I am not, where is the X end stop? Let's find out. I'll include a link in a minute to where you can buy those gauges. Let me go ahead and do that, because I know people are going to want to know which gauges I'm using. And I will take 2 seconds to show you those gauges. There we go. So this is a nice 2-pack of gauges, and it's like $11 right now. And so if you are looking for some gauges, I recommend these. They're not high-end, they're not fancy. But that will get you going on the filler gauges if you're not using it. They do come coated in oil. You do have to clean them off. Thanks, Nate. Thanks for that. So I'm still looking to see where my X end stop is, because they haven't made it obvious when it goes this way. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I see what's going on. All right, let me move the camera around. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Okay. There we go. All right. So the X end stop, now that I see it, is back here. And the way that this is coming, it sometimes hits something else before it hits the X end stop. You see that? So that's what I'm running into, is it's just not hitting the X end stop. Y seems fine. Y is not going to run into a problem. So for X, I may be able to move it over. I may just be able to bend the pin out a little bit. I'm going to opt, for time reasons, to just bend out my pin a little and see if that fixes the problem. Not yet. Now it's hitting it. I hear it clicking every time. All right, so I'm going to do that for now. What's it hitting is what was asked. On Honestly? Oh, yeah, I can tell you what it's hitting. I can't tell you what it's hitting from there, but I can tell you what it's hitting from here, probably. Can't see. There we go. Oh, still can't tell you. Okay. Let's do... Oh, crap. Okay. I can show you from here. Switch to the overhead. So, right here. My camera went away, so I can't show you what I'm showing you. There we go. Okay. It's a good question. So you wanted to know what it's hitting. So can you see this? All right. Let me get this out of the way. It's literally hitting the actual motor, fan, whatever, X assembly is hitting the wall before it was hitting the end stop. So there's nothing you can do about that. But I did just bend the end stop out a little bit and problem solved. That honestly shouldn't be giving me a big issue anymore. All right, no problem with asking. Absolutely, I'm happy to show what that looks like. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead, and I got to turn it back off because apparently if you do not hit end stops correctly, it gets very confused. All right, let's do it again. We go to settings and leveling. You've already seen this once before. Now it hits it. Now it hits Y. Y doesn't seem to be any problem. Can the carriage be rotated? That is a question for later. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Let's go to 2. So I just realized we have another problem. Okay. I need a drink. So sometimes when you deal with a lot of printers, you kind of get in a pattern of this is what printers are doing these days, yada, 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 and so you make a conceptual mistake. Z is too high, as RetroCare just said, and as I was thinking, you know, these days I'm so used to, I'm so used to it being an auto leveler of some sort, and so you move the bed, then that moves everything else. Your auto leveler catches the bed of the move. Thank you, Dan. I almost just spilt that all over me. Wipe grease on my face and be good to go. Okay, so let's talk about how to fix this. So the Z end stop, I'm going to have to show it to you because they've actually already kind of thought about this. And I'm going to get the camera all set up and then I'm going to show you. And I've got to turn off the motor. Ugh. I'm going to show you how to fix this. I think this is going to come up and people are going to have questions, and so I really want to do my best to demonstrate the solution because this seems like something that should be covered fairly thoroughly in the manual because if they don't ship it right, it's not going to work right. So switching over to my, was I on the coast? No, I'm not on there. Close cam. Okay. Whoop. Okay, so you might be able to see it here. I hope so. Let me put my hand in the right place. All right. All right, so there we go. This will be able to demonstrate it to you. So right here, they've already taken care of this. The Z end stop is actually already on a carriage. Okay, so the Z end stop is already on a carriage here and it can be moved down. So to give Creality credit here, they've already thought of this and that's not the right size. So all you need to do to fix it is, number one, find the right freaking size key. All right. And then we can move down our end stop. All right. Move down the end stop or up the end stop? Down the end stop or up the end stop? What do you guys think? Which way is it? Inverse. I bet you Scott knows this one. I thought down too. I just wanted to make sure I was right. So down the end stop. Okay, just making sure. So I'm going to lower my end stop. I'm actually just going to lower it all the way down, because I think I have plenty of room to go up. All right, so down the end stop. They've already got it taken care of. So I hope that if someone else has that problem, that at least I will have taken a minute to show them how to fix it. All right. Now, let's do it again. Boop. Boop. There we go. All right. So, leveling. Okay, X is still looking good. Y is still looking good. Okay, that's going to give us a little bit more clearance on our Z. So let's go to 2. Let's do this while I fix the camera again. All right. Let's do it. Hit 2. All right, we have a little bit of movement room now. All right. Looks good. We'll go to 3. I know my hand is in your view, but I don't know what you want me to do about it. Okay, now I have to admit, it's pretty close. You don't have a lot of leeway here, but there's some. And now I need to, if you don't want to scratch up your bed here, you're going to have to lower these bed screws all the way down, because otherwise it's going to scratch it up. How do you make sure your Z motors are aligned? I probably should have done an extra step to where I actually did it manually, but I'm not going to do it at this point. It'll be good enough for a test print. But just like I do on the Ender 5 Plus, I probably am going to have to take a ruler to my gantry and actually level it side to side manually. And I shouldn't have skipped that step, but there we go. It'll be fine for the test print. Again, I go to 4 and hopefully don't scrape the bed. Okay, let's go to 5. Okay, let's go back to, I'm going to home this again. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. Okay, let's go back to 2 again. All right. Okay, good and tight. We'll go to 3. Okay, we're going to 4. Tighten that a little bit more. Okay, and 5. Okay, and we're going to see if the middle is relatively flat. And it's just a little off. So I'm going to move each of my corners just a little bit and see if I can get this underneath it. Because it's a little too tight, but just barely. I can see underneath it. There we go. But the middle is what's important, let's be honest. Because that's where my test print's going to be. Okay, so that looks pretty good. That wasn't a perfect bed leveling, but again, I'm doing a live stream here, and what's most important to me at this point is to show the process and then get it level enough to print for today. So that should be good to go. We'll do some live adjustment if it's needed, but otherwise I think we're about ready to go with a test print. I'm all leveled up. Let's go ahead. I'm going to grab my SD card and we're going to hope that there is a test print already on here. And if not, then that will be its own problem. Okay. Here we go. Looks pretty good. There we go. All right. Let's see. SD card is on this side. Again, full-size SD card. Does it go up or down? It goes up. We go to make sure that is that in there. There it goes. We go say print. I see nothing. Do it one more time. Print. Nothing. All right. So what I'm going to do, of course, is let's go find out if it came with anything. Maybe it's not in the right place. Usual craziness. Are the belt idler pulleys the same diameters as the drive ones? It's kind of hard to see the pulleys or the belts. All right, Asker, thanks for joining me. Good to see you drop in. I realize it's probably quite late where you are, but thanks for dropping by. All right, let's see what's on this. I'll check out some pulleys and stuff for you later. Let's see what's in here. There we go. There is definitely no... oh, there are G-codes. Okay, the G-codes just aren't in the root directory. They put the G-codes somewhere else. I have a pin container. I have a ship 12H, and I have a vase 13H. Those look like the only pre-sliced ones. There are some other STLs on here that are really interesting that I'll look forward to going through. They've actually got recorders, something called Quake. They've got the Owl. Let me bring up Cura because I want to see kind of what the print times on these are real quick. Who we got joining us? We got someone named H Colorado. Good to see you, H Colorado. Thanks for joining us. Okay. No, Herman Circus, I agree with you. It's definitely going to need a profile for it. Did you try the Creality Slicer? Did the Creality Slicer actually come with a profile for it? I would have hoped so, but you know, obviously I don't know. Waiting for Cura to pop up here. I know, I can see from file size, and I was using that as well, but I kind of wanted to know what I was printing, get a time here. File size is always a good way to tell, though. I've only got 2. The pin container is definitely too big. Trying to decide whether to go for the vase mode one. Let's see. It should only take a second to figure out which one to print. Let's see what the ship looks like. That's the smallest file. Ship 12H. Oh, we got a new subscriber. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Diesel. How are we doing on subscriber counts? Anyone see whether I've hit that magic number to give away a free spool of filament? I heard so many ringy dingies. It really hasn't gone up very much. 16,779. I think some of you were cheating, but the number count doesn't lie. So it looks like it is a benchy. It's a benchy, but it looks like a really big benchy, like a 2X benchy. 2X benchy. Let's see, I heard another one. I wanted to thank who that was. Apache FPV, thanks for joining. Yeah, it's no time estimate available, unfortunately, on these, but that is a big benchy, so I think we're going to end up going with the vase. Let me see what the vase looks like. Or if I'm just going to slice my own. It's like a 2X benchy. No torture toaster? Or Calicats are great. I like Calicats. They don't take long to print. Let me see if this vase pops up here. Straight to the stringing test. Yeah, might as well. Might as well. Sorry, I missed whoever that was that just subscribed. Thank you very much. So the vase, again, giant freaking vase. That one looks like it would take a while also. It doesn't look like they've given me any, like, quick vase modes. Don't forget to load filament. Why don't we go ahead and do that? While I'm looking at the parts, I think that's a really good point, John, or Aaron, excuse me. Let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and heat this up. Let's just do a manual 205. It's a good temp, and a manual 60. That'll get us heating up so I can load filament, and we'll be ready to go. And we won't have to wait for it to heat up. So I just brought up TPU first. Crazy, man. Crazy. I just brought up Creality Slicer. I'm going to see if Creality Slicer comes with a machine for this one. What's this thing called? Okay, it does not look like it actually comes with this one, at least not. This isn't the Creality Slicer that it came with. Let me see which Creality Slicer it came with. Let's see. New Creality Slicer. Well, is it really? Let's find out. I think it's important. Let me see if the Creality Slicer it came with actually has this printer. Let me update Creality. Guess I could be showing you this. Let's do that. Forgot to put on stickers. Yeah, it may not even run without stickers all over the case. All right. We are 104 viewers right now. Thank you all for sticking around. I think this is the interesting part where we try to figure out how to get the freaking thing to print. So I know what I prefer, but what do you think? Should I use one of my normal name brand filaments, something like a filament 1 like I normally pull out? Hey Lucas, good to see you. Or should I just use Creality's filament and, you know how that goes. Let's see what Creality slicer. It still says 421. Where's the Kersey stickers? In the drawer. Here. Let's see. I'll get them in a minute. See, that's what I say, hybotics, is that I should use a filament that I'm familiar with. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to say agree. I'm going to say next, next. Sermoon, looky there. It came with one. See that? That's what I like to see. I'm going to say next. 280, 260. It's got start and stop G code. This is fantastic. Good to see. All right, we are ready to print, it seems. And now I have to turn these off. All right, yeah, old stuff. Okay, Sermoon, everything looks good. Let's go ahead and open up one of my mini. I like the Calicat. Let's do a Calicat. That was a good suggestion. Okay, there's the Calicat. That should be a good one. It says 52 minutes. Let me see what some of their settings look like here. Wall thickness of random number. Wall count of 3. 10% infill density, sure. Printing temperature 200. I'm going to change that to 205 because I think I'm going to use I don't know, 200. 200 is probably fine, sure. Print speed 50, probably safe. Fan speed 100. We'll have to look at their other details later. What is a good retraction? I won't know until I play with it more. You actually have to do test prints to know it right. So I won't know really. So I'm just going to save if no one has any problems. Let me actually, I do want to see what the skirt, good, that's what I want to see. Preview. It is a direct drive printer, absolutely. Looks good. Beautiful. I'm happy with that. If it sticks to the bed, I'm happy with that. So, let's see. I know everyone wants to see what their retractions are set to. Is that under speed or is there a separate? You forget where things are all the time when you already have them all out here. Okay, everybody. Just do this. Retraction distance, retraction speed. That'll be good enough to find out. So they've got it set to 8 and 45, which just seems wrong. Doesn't anyone else think that that's wrong? It's a direct drive extruder and they really haven't tweaked the retraction distance whatsoever. Give me some numbers. What do you want to see it at? 45 is fine. 45 is a lot. What do we think? 2? Let's go with 2. I got Apache saying 2. I mean, it's just a Calicat. It's not going to make a whole lot of difference. 1.5 to 2, 1.5, 4, 2. Let's just go 2. I'm going to go safer. It's going to slice that up for me. All right, let's do that. We're going to save that to our media. I'm going to eject that drive, and I'm back. Now I'm back. Yeah, I mean, 1.5, 2, I don't think it's making a big difference for what we're using it for. So let's load it up. Okay, I'm going to put this in here. Make sure that it shows up before I go any further. The Calicat is showing up on the screen. So let me find some filament I feel reasonably comfortable with. I think this will work. I don't think this should be brittle. I've had this out here for a little while. But if this doesn't break when I'm taking it off, it's fine. So this is some bright orange filament from filament 1. Recommended temps 195 to 215, so 200, which is what I set this to, should be fine. There we go. Okay, it's got a filament runout sensor first, so we're going to take that up through here. It feels like, I have to admit, this filament runout sensor feels like a smart runout sensor. It feels like I have something rolling rather than something clicking. So I think it may be a smart sensor. I'll have to check that out. Hey, Chris in chat, got it here in minutes ago. How was the audio at the beginning today? Audio was a problem at the beginning, but we sorted it all out. All right, so I'm going to take that through there. And then remember, I put this on last. This is the filament guide, and we're going to take that through the filament guide. All right, and we're going to take it through the hole in the top. And then I'm actually going to lower the bed so that I can see what's going on. All right, and I'm going to push this into there. And they had white. You can see that that actually is what came out of there. I'm going to readjust. Boom. Okay, so they had some white filament in there. Now I've got a little pool of white filament. But the orange is coming out nicely. See if I can grab this. Will that pull that off of there? Nope. But it's sticking well. Because honestly, Creality's beds are pretty good. There we go. Okay, the moment of truth. Let's do it. Let me back it out a little bit so it doesn't ooze. Okay, what do we want to do when I start this? You want to be it from the top or from the front? Top or from the front? I need a real quick vote, and we will go with it. There are front doors and side walls. There is no lid. Andrew asked, are there front doors and a wall? But yeah, I just didn't install them. Front, front, front. Okay, so we're going to do this front shot right here. I'm going to go print, going to go Calicat, and we're going to say print. And if I have any problems with, so the fan's just turned on. So if I have any problems with any of my bed leveling, I'm just going to do it dynamically, and I hope I don't scrape a big hole into the bed. Okay, X is still working good. Boop. There, someone complained about the camera angle. That's still wonky. Let's see if that's better. All right, we're going to lay down. Yeah, the priming line is going down pretty good. Can't complain. Hey, Carl, thanks for joining us. We got a lot of people joining. DJ X2JS. Okay, we are in the middle, and we are laying down. Look at there. So my bed leveling looks to have been just fine. I did not do the bed leveling hot, but it looks like the bed leveling went down very well, because that is a really nice squish on that first, and you guys can't see it at all. So I'm actually going to switch to this and see if that's better. Nope, now you still can't see it. I'm going to find you guys a good angle for this. If there is a good angle, I'm going to give you one. Sorry about that. First layer does look good though. There we go. Sorry about that. So far so good on that one. That's actually a terrific first layer. Yeah, if you're going to want to do a time lapse on this printer, you're going to have to find a clever way to mount a camera in the corner or something. I'm hearing the retractions a little bit, but they sound good and clean. So there we go. It's printing really well. I'm hearing the part cooling fan ramping up a little bit by each layer. So apparently their version of Creality Slicer does have the cooling ramp up on. It's looking really good, considering those feet have to go down clean, otherwise they'll curl up. That surface is definitely hanging on to the filament. I actually think that their filament guide that we installed on the side of the printer is a terrific idea. I really like that idea, because it keeps the filament kind of where it's supposed to be without you having to actually run a Bowden tube all the way from the side of the printer to the top of the printer. Yeah, this color is great. If you want a link to filament 1, I've got an affiliate link that will help me out. I'll be happy to send that your way. Actually, you can check the description of the video. My affiliate link is probably in there. Let's see how we're doing on subscribers. I know someone asked for some free filament. Oh, we're doing good. 16,781. We don't quite have enough. That's a nice shot. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, it's got kind of, let's see, what was the question? Lone Tech asked, how does the filament input extruder look? Had one printer with a plastic funnel there that wore out pretty quickly. So the input for the filament is actually really clean. It's a nice kind of funnel shape, but it's all metal. So I will go and tell you that the extruder arm and everything is all metal. So it looks really good. Thank you, Non-Fam, for my choice of filament. It does look good. It looks good against that black build plate. I don't have a CR30. Someone, H Colorado just mentioned the CR30 may be their next printer. I don't have a CR30, so I can't comment on that. Hope you have all enjoyed the stream. It's been a good one. We were able to debug this printer live, which was fantastic. How does the Creality all-metal DD compare to the Micro Swiss? I haven't tried it myself. I do not have to, RetroCare asks if I have to send this back or can we expect more videos of it. I do not have to send it back, so you will be able to expect a full review on it at some point. And if I like it, you'll see it more used in projects, because the channel is going to have more and more projects on this channel more often, and maybe a little bit less 3D printer specific stuff, because the whole point of Kersey Fabrications was more projects, so we're going to do that at some point. Don't worry, 3D printing specific comment is not going away. I just want to do more. I'll show you a little bit of the motion of the printer. It looks really clean. It is quiet, so the only thing I hear is the extruder and the Z when the Z is moving. But I'm not hearing any Z at the moment, of course. Looks real clean. Yeah, I'm not hearing anything. I mean, I hear the fan, but they're very small fans, so it's very quiet. Does the Sermoon come with the 427? Who remembers the mainboard version? I don't remember it off the top of my head. If you missed the disassembly of the whole mainboard area, go back in time at when the stream's over. You can take a look. I took apart everything underneath it to show you everything that's in it. Aaron asked, is there no benefit of having a Bowden tube as a filament guide? Not if you've got another way of doing it. And I think that this printer does a good job of using that guide that they built in. Let me see. So far, so good. Everything's looking nice. Nice. Don't worry, that was just filament. Filament is everywhere. Okay. Looks good. I'm going to let it go for a little bit. This is the part of the episode where I take a short break while I get a drink and check on my family. We've been going for almost 3 hours here. So this is the part of the break where I'm going to go check on everything. And I will be back. Please hang out. Please feel free to chat. Obviously the stream is going to continue. And then I will be back later to check on it and to chat with you a little bit more. So again, thanks everyone for hanging out. About 110 people still hanging out in the chat. Got 88 likes on the stream. Thank you very much, everyone. And I will be back in a little bit or towards the end of this print at the very worst. And we will give you my final opinions of what we've seen here today. I've been really happy with it overall. Obviously, we've hit a few technical glitches, but they haven't been anything major or anything that we couldn't overcome. which is awesome. So I will thank you everyone for the goodbyes, and hopefully I'll see you here, you know what, in probably about 30 minutes or so, and I'll come back and I'll join you again for the ending. See you then. Hello, hello, can you hear me? I'm back. I heard someone mention that it was done. How many people got still hanging around wanting to see what's... Oh, watching paint dry. All right, well, you know, still 74 of you stuck around, so let's go back. Hi. I'm still here. So let's see what's going on and see what I think about this print. Well, obviously, normally you'd want to let it cool down a little bit before you were to forcefully remove it from the build plate. But it's got a relatively small footprint, so I think we can do this. We don't hear you? What? Do you hear me or not? It's showing up on my levels. Do you hear me? Okay. All right, good. I'm going to type it because I'm not sure what the heck's going on. So, Dan, you need to turn up your volume apparently. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay. Let me see. I got to bring back up the right window. Okay. So let me peel this off of here. There we go. That came off easy, and it wasn't even fully cool. So, there we go. What do I think of this cat? What is on my finger? Oil or something. Excuse me 1 second. All right. All right. Let's see. So, print actually looks awesome. In fact, the only thing I see on here is a little bit of ringing. But as we saw from their use of ridiculously long retractions, I don't think that the profile that comes with Creality Slicer is actually tuned very well. So it looks like I need to tune a little bit of the ringing. But I'm gonna show you here what it looks like. Boop. There we go. That's pretty good. So here's my cat, and it looks pretty good. I think on the side you can see there's a little bit of ringing or possibly a little bit of the infill, but I think it's ringing. And back side of the cat looks honestly really, really good. And yeah, so there's our Calicat. While I'm checking, do I have my calipers? I don't have my calipers, but I know I've got my micrometers. So let me grab my micrometer here and we will actually see how it did, you know, from a size perspective. I prefer to use the micrometer here anyway. Okay, zeroed out. Let me take a look. Looks really good. I'm happy with it. I think this is a 20 millimeter by 20 millimeter cat. Have to go back to be sure. But, see how it did. It's a little small. Coming at 19.9. Yep, 19.9. In the Y direction, or excuse me, in the X direction. Let's see how it did in Y. In Y, it's 19.95. So it's a little bit more accurate in the Y direction than the X. Because 19 in the X, it was much closer to 19.90. And I don't remember what the Z is supposed to be on this one. Oh, there we go, 35 millimeter. I don't know if this micrometer goes to 35 millimeters. It doesn't look like it does. Okay. So I'm not going to be able to do height on this guy. But really close. No dialing in, no making sure that the settings are 100% accurate. There's my cat. Any questions I can answer before I sign off for today? Again, a whole bunch of you guys have hung out here, and I really appreciate you sticking it out through the test print. It's awesome. But I'm going to give you a minute to hear me. Congrats on a successful build, says H Colorado, and I appreciate that. Yeah, you know, we ran into a couple of hiccups, mainly that Z bed leveling issue. Nate says thanks for bleeding for us, and yeah, just a couple of you know, cut fingertips, but it's not like it's the first time. Did we do the filament giveaway? Did some of you guys stick around for a filament giveaway, thinking that that was going to happen still? Let me see how we did. How do we do? Live stream. Let me see how my subscriber count is doing. Well, I got up to 16,780. Let's see. What do I got? Let me see. Did I save the filament? Save the filament. I know somewhere I had a box of filament that I had prepared at one point in time to give away and was unable to for reasons. Would you make a video on tuning acceleration and jerk settings? Yeah, I think I can do that. I think more important to a lot of people is for me to go ahead and make a video on how I do tuning for filament. A lot of my Patrons ask for that, so that's one of the things that is coming very soon, is the tuning for specific filaments that will cover, first of all, how do you tune for temperature, then how do you tune for retraction settings, both the distance and the speed, or at least how I do it. Give me 2 seconds. I know I said, just going to see if I could find that filament, because I had, apparently, did I hide it from myself? Give me a second. I'm off camera, but I am still here. Boom. So since you stuck around, every one of you, I will give away this box of filament, which has, I believe, a orange roll of Pro PLA Select from Filament 1. Probably identical to what I printed with today, so it's even more suitable that I give it away while I printed with this. So what I would love to do, I can only ship this to the US, and I'll tell you why. And I hate doing this because I know how many international followers I have, both Canada and in Europe. But the biggest problem I've got with shipping anywhere but the US is that it costs more to ship it than it does for a spool of filament. So that doesn't work out for me. Aaron, where are you located? Go ahead and tell me real quick, since you're looking sad. Where are you located? Let me see. Canada. All right. Here, let's do it this way. Do it this way. So I've done this once before. If I give you, let me think how do I want to say this? If I pick you and you are not in the US, I will give you a gift certificate to a 3D printing company near you where you can buy filament. It has to be a gift card. There has to be somewhere near you that offers a gift card. I have done Canada before because I know I have 3D Printing Canada up there, and I bought someone a $30 gift card. So if you win this and I cannot ship this to you, you will get a $30 US dollar gift card to your local to your local 3D printing company. I will buy you one. So let me go ahead. I'm going to have to bring this up right now. If I go to my Google Docs, I have a terrific form already ready for you. Let's see. I will go ahead and send you this Google form. Make a copy. (2021) 05/30, and these are just for all y'all that stuck around here to the very end. Because I love all y'all faces, as Philip DeFranco would say, and I don't like to not ship to these other countries. So I'm going to send this to you. Let's see. Got to share this. Bear with me, I'm having to create a brand new form for you. And once I get this ready, we can go ahead and give away some filament. Thank you very much, Jerry. I appreciate it. I'm glad I was able to help you out. That's awesome. Send. Here's a link. Shorten the URL for me. I'm going to copy that. You should only be able to fill in one per person. Hopefully. Limit one response per person. All right. So let me share this with you. I'll give you a few minutes to fill it out. There you go. You have, let me see what time it is. So if you haven't subscribed, now would be an excellent time to do that. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to fill out this form. It's very short. I don't share your information. The only reason I ask for the information I'm asking for is because obviously I have to give you a gift. And if you want the gift, then, no longer accepting responses. I will fix it. 1 second. Responses. Accepting. All right, now it's accepting responses. Do it. Do it. Do it. Should be good to go. I should be seeing responses here in a minute. There we go. Now I'm seeing responses. Again, as I was saying, I do not share any of your information. If you need any of the privacy information about this channel, please check out the description. I have a privacy policy there, as well as my usual use policies and everything like that. I will give you 2 more minutes because this is not complicated. Answers? What answers? All right, I've got 17 entries so far, 18. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let me see if I can get 50 entrants. There's a comment on the form, sure, but you don't have to fill it in. The comments at the bottom is optional if you just want to send me a message. It's not required. Not required at all. I'm up to 24 responses right now. We got 24 entries. Currently, There are quite a bit of US responses. I've got a couple of UK responses. Canada. It's funny, I've got different Canadas here. Australia. Someone's from Australia here. Good day. There's an email question that asks for an answer? What are you talking about? Don't know what you're talking about. That's all right. I'll figure it out. If I've got your names. I'm going to find out where that prize wheel, the picker wheel. Find out that website I used to use. Wheel of Names. There it is. Wheel of Names. We're going to use Wheel of Names to sort this out. See how everybody's doing. Let me check out the chat. Okay, answer is hello. Comment section says answer. Oh, okay, whatever. See how we doing? 29 responses. So only about half of the people that are watching this video want to win a spool of filament or a $30 gift card if you're not in the United States. Well, if Google Forms is messing up, just do your best. If it's confusing, I'm sure we'll work it out. So we got 81 people watching. We need to repeat that link. Let me repost the link for people that are looking for the link. Link, shorten, copy, done, done. Hey David, how you doing? We're giving away some filament here at the very end of this stream. So if you'd like to win a roll of orange filament just like this one, already packed up and ready to go for people in the United States. Otherwise, I'm giving you a $30 gift card to a 3D printing company of your choice where you're located. And we got 80 people, 101 likes. We've got 3 more minutes. I'm going to give you till 6:55 according to my clock. If there is a weird question on the form, you know what to do. You know what to do. I'm not seeing that on my side. So, don't know what to say. 32 responses. We've got 32 people in this contest. If you'd like to throw your name in the hat one more time, here is the form. 1 entry per person, please. Again, I don't do anything with your information except delete it after this competition is over. It's the only thing I do with your information. Delete it after I send you an email. Why the things on the stepper motors? It's a very interesting question. If you're interested in this printer, one more time, here was the results of my cat. There we go. Here is the cat. Turned out really nice. We got a little bit of ringing. So we need to adjust the acceleration and speed and everything. But overall, it printed really well. No big issues. There's my cat. And I sliced that one myself. Herman, if you missed out, we are giving away a spool of filament if you're in the U.S. If you're not in the U.S., then I will be sending you a gift card to a local 3D printing company that's where you're located. let's see. We are just about out of time. I'm about to close entrance. We're at 35 responses. These 35 people will be in the running for the spool. So if you need some free filament, here's your chance. I'm seeing some likes on the video. I appreciate that. Apparently, free stuff makes you likey. 36 responses, and I'm about to close it. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to close it down. Done. So we got 36 entrances. Let's grab all of these names. I'm going to, of course, put your YouTube name. You do have to be present to win, because otherwise, how am I going to do this? Let me put everyone's name into the shuffle wheel here. Wish it would tell me how many people were here. All right, so where are we? There we go. Good luck, everybody. Hopefully everyone got in their name. Let's go to the screen share. And can everyone see my screen? Looks like it from here. Everybody good? Good luck, everyone. And I'm just trying to bring up something else. There we go. Here we go. Click to spin, and we're off. Oh, so close, Jerry, but it looks like our winner is Stephen. Stephen Mateer. Stephen Mateer. And I'm going to see where is Stephen located. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to the wide shot here. Let's see, where is Stephen located? Am I even going to be able to tell where Stephen's located? That's going to be a problem for future Chris. Where are you located, Stephen? Let me know. Hopefully Stephen is there and can answer. If Stephen doesn't respond, then Stephen doesn't win. Where's Stephen? Have someone seen Stephen respond? There he is. Okay, I see Stephen. Where are you located, Stephen? New York. So you will get this very box that I hold here in my hands that has been sealed up for a while because I could not send it to a previous winner and I had to send them a gift card. So there we go. Thank you very much, Stephen, for hanging around, for being here at the end of this live stream. And summary on the printer. So assembly went really well. Electronics look overall really well done. The grounding they got correct. The only thing they didn't get is they are still tinning the ends of the wires instead of putting ferrules. It's an easy fix, and you know, again, we still see that quite a bit. That's my only complaint about the electronics. Obviously, the X end stop has a problem. It's not quite out far enough, so I had to do a little bit of bending to get that X end stop correct, but now it seems to hit it just fine every time. I'll be taking a look at that a little bit more later to see if there's anything I can do to maybe just move it out a little bit further. And then other than that, there was the Z bed offset was a bit off, but that was easy to fix because they actually had that built into the printer already to be able to adjust that Z offset. So overall, I can say I'm pretty happy. This went a lot better than like last live stream that I did, which I'm still working on that printer. That was the longer printer that I'm still having problems with, but they sent me a new main board, so hopefully I will work that one out. But as far as Creality printers go, it worked well. It's got a relatively large print size. It does have a direct drive extruder, so I will be trying some flexible filament here. yeah, what state am I located in? Boodog asked. I am in Georgia. And I think that's it. I think we've covered it all. I appreciate you all for sticking around this long. Thank you to all of you that contributed to the channel today. Thank you for that. And I will see you next time. I believe next time, I think I'm about out of 3D printers to do here on the table. And so next up, I believe we will be seeing a live stream on a laser cutter. I have my first large format laser cutters here in the shop, and I am looking forward to trying those out. I haven't tried a large format one before. I've tried them on some of my multi-machines, but that's it. So again, if you're looking forward to that, please let me know in the comments. Please send me messages on other social media, and we will take a look. Again, thank you very much. I'm Chris. This has been Kersey Fabrications, and I will see you next time.